Hey, what's going on, people? Chelsea have qualified for the FA Cup final again, beating Crystal Palace in the semis 2-0. It wasn't a classic, but there's positives and there's many talking points. There is. Trust me, there is. We're going to reflect on the lineup, the game, the stats, and all that fun stuff. So settle in, get comfortable, and thank you for subscribing to those of you who are choosing to subscribe right now. And please do drop a like, because it just takes a second, man. And it makes me feel good. Don't you want to make people feel good? You can do that. Alright, let's talk about it. 2-0 on the night. Chelsea needed to win because we lost to Real Madrid away in the Bernabeu after an excellent... No, we beat... Hold on. I'll rephrase that. We beat Real Madrid, but we got eliminated in the time in the Champions League after a great performance against Real Madrid. I wondered what Chelsea were going to do in this game. Were they going to, how are they going to deal with it? Emotional exhaustion. The fact how they was pretty flat in the first half, I did worry about that. Should we look at the teams, man? There was it looks like what is that formation from Palace? 4-1-3-2, like a narrow 3. I think they started with a back 5, though. Palace, of course, they had Butland and goal. They had ex-Chelsea boy, Gurhey, Anderson, Ward, Mitchell, Milivojevic came on. Ayew came on. Yeah, so that's a weird formation they ended with when they were chasing the game. Chelsea played a 3-4-1-2. So, we ended like what you can see on the screen here. But we played, essentially... Eduard Mendy in goal. After 120 minutes away in Spain, Thiago Silva is rested. Andreas Christensen comes through the middle, and then he's flanked by Antonio Rudiger on the left. And interestingly, Reece James on the right. Not right wing back, right centre back. Thomas Tuchel, I think, has had a long-term vision for Reece James as a right centre back, which is... We all see him as a really offensive wing-back, not even full-back, wing-back. So for him to be seen as a centre-back, I don't know if that's his long-term plan for him, but even when Tuchel was thinking of buying Achraf Hakimi, I think he was doing that because he had long-term plans for Reece James at right centre-back to succeed Azpilicueta, maybe. But in this instance, he played right centre-back, Azpilicueta played as the right wing back, Alonso as the left wing back. So I think we pretty much got quite close in terms of our predicted lineup. Havertz, Mount, and Werner started in the front three, and Kovacic started with Jorginho in the double six. We're going to talk about Jorginho in a moment when we do not player ratings, when we talk about who played well and what went down. This lighting is really good. Natural lighting. Look at my face. I'm well lit up. The background's really dark, though, which is kind of weird, but I like it. Should we see what happened in the game? So, let's go up a little bit and have a look, so you man can see it as well. Right then, in the 26th minute, Kovacic came off. Another FA Cup final where Kovacic comes off, and Anthony Taylor's refereeing. Not because he was sent off, though, because he got an injury, which is really annoying, because at that point, in the first half, let's just say it now, Jorginho was dropping an absolute stinker in that first half. And then Kovacic, our form and best midfielder, goes off injured. Of course, and interesting to see not N'Golo Kante coming on for Kovacic, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who of course has played as a centre-back sweeper for Thomas Tuchel. He's played as a lone 6. He's played as like a number 8. He's played in like the front 3. He's played at right wing back. And he gets brought back into a double 6 here rather than like a lone 6, which is interesting. Thomas Tuchel really does rate Ruben Loftus-Cheek's versatility. So he comes on, ladies and gentlemen. Kai Havertz gets booked for a horrendous dive. Now, I don't think he's a diving player, but this is sickening. And he's not clearly tried to con the referee. Well, he's clearly tried to con the referee. But what I mean is he's not just flopped away from contact. He's like, okay, this guy is going to tackle me. I'm going to go over and win a penalty because I don't think I can take a shot on here. The contact never comes. He flops down. He looks like an idiot. And ultimately, he has a pretty bad game. The young German who's been in scintillating red-hot form. He's been in form. He dives, the first half ends. So let's just quickly say all of us are falling asleep on our sofas. The first half was boring. It wasn't a classic. Chelsea were lackluster. I don't know if this was like emotional exhaustion fallout from the Champions League exit, but it was poor, bro. And then, of course, Jordan Ayew comes on for Mateta, early change in the second half. And the 65th minute, that beautiful boy, Ruben, he always had greatness in his bones, ladies and gentlemen. I've just refreshed the page, so here's the appropriate lineup and how it started. It's a diamond, kind of, with Jorginho Kovacic mounted at the tip of the diamond, which he did against Southampton, which he did against Real Madrid, and which he's done today. And he scored in all of those 3 games. Mason Mount's in form. So yeah, that's the updated shape and formation and lineup. So the first half was crap, and then Ruben Loftus-Cheek, 15 minutes into the second half, 20 minutes? I can't count. Anyway, a ball falls to him essentially, like, what was it, like, 20 yards out or something? I can't remember how far out it is. He gets a bit lucky with a deflection, the ball sort of flies towards him, and he thunder strikes it in, and it is a beautiful goal. Chelsea needed a hero to start the scoring. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's been the versatile utility man, brought into play loads of different positions, banged his first Chelsea goal since 2019. Of course, he's been out on loans since, but in that season, he was incredible under Maurizio Sarri, playing constantly as a left-sided number 8. Now he's playing all over the gaff. But, he's mid-20s, so he's not a bright prospect anymore. You get paid a lot of money, bro. I think he's paid like £120,000 a week. Or maybe he's on 100. I think he's like on 150k a week, which is mad. I don't want him to become our Jesse Lingard, and that's with the greatest respect of Jesse Lingard. Ruben can play all over the gaff, and therefore he can play in high-profile games like semi-finals and scores the opener. Beautiful. So, we're a goal ahead. There's changes made by Patrick Vieira's Palace to go for it. He brings on Elisa, who's an amazing player, Christian Benteke. But, on the 76th minute, Timo Werner, who won man of the match from BBC's coverage. Fair play. Timo Werner's been in good form, and he continued his good form today. And he assisted the second goal to Mason Mount, which, by the way, is a lovely goal. It's a lovely combination from Timo, taking the ball down, cutting it back, getting it back to Mason, and Mason just side-footing it into the corner, and I think he got a little nick as well. It's a lovely finish. Timo's been in great form. Mason Mount's been in great form. Kai had been in good form, but it's maybe dipped a little bit recently, and of course, he ain't good today. We're going to talk about the performances in a second. And then, of course, straight away as a response to that goal, Tuchel's like, right, we got this sewn up, I think, or let's sew this up. Havertz, who's got a card and has been playing well, he comes off. Mount comes off, Rappham and Cotton Wall. Jorginho comes off, hasn't been great. Kante, Ziyech and Lukaku come on. Kante, obviously, as a front midfielder, and Ziyech and Lukaku link pretty well, actually. They're good friends off the pitch, and Ziyech knows what Lukaku wants in terms of deliveries into the box. And not long after, we bring on Thiago Silva to lock out as well. And to be honest, man, we have it kind of locked down. They have a couple of chances, but we had 12 shots to their 6. We had nearly 67% possession. We had a much better passing accuracy. Interestingly, they had more dribbles. That's probably all Zaha. We won more aerials. We won more tackles despite having more possession. For me, that's always a big indicator. If you're winning more tackles when you have the ball more as well, it shows you want it more. Whatever, more corners, and they were dispossessed more. Let's talk about player performances. I think Mendy was fine. He might have made a save. He didn't need to do too much. James, very, very good at right centre-back. Really good, very, very good. At left centre-back, Christensen, fine. Good recovery pace to get back. And Chelsea could sort of play a high line. Jorginho, Kovacic came off injured. You can't really, talk about him. Jorginho in that first half was really, really poor. My Twitter timeline was riddled and people saying he's checked out, man. He's not been good all season. He's a great player, Jorginho, but he hasn't been anywhere near he was last season. And it's just a weird one, man. So I don't know what's going on there. Mason Mount, very, very good. By no means majestic, But obviously, great goal. His open play was generally fine. Both wing-backs were good, I think, or certainly good enough in Azpilicueta and Alonso. In an ideal world, you'd have Reece James and Ben Chilwell, of course. And Havertz was poor, I think, personally. And then Timo Werner was good. He skied it at the end when Lukaku cut it back to him, when all he needed to do was sort of get his body over it, and he ends up putting it in like another postcode. But yeah, man, like I think Werner was very, very good, and I've been very, very pleased. So good on him, Timo Werner. Look, we're in a final. We're gonna face Liverpool, and they'll be favourites. Though we always do play quite well against Liverpool, whether it's in both games in the Premier League this season or indeed the Carabao Cup final, which we could have won, man. All 3 games were draw after 90 minutes. And yeah, I think we give them a good game. I think we play in an appropriate way to play Liverpool, but their tails will be up, and they will be favourites. And Chelsea have got this pressure on them. Like, we've lost the last 5 finals at Wembley. The Wembley curse, can we break it? Thomas Tuchel's never lost a semi-final in his career, apparently, which is just an incredible... this is an incredible stat. Right, let me know what you think. Comment down below. Thank you to all of you who like the video. It helps me out, all these little interaction things. It takes a second. And if you do subscribe, make sure you turn the bell on. Wicked. Peace. There we go.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, bitch.